Hello. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hi. Wait a minute. Give me a second. I didn't adjust the thing. Ugh. And of course, I left all the. Anyway, hi. How are you? I'm sorry. I put the music on and then I started doing some prep work that I should have did a long time ago. And then I forgot that I was on live. I was just enjoying the music. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, hey, how are you doing? Nice to see you all. Um, I figured I would come. I was planning on doing this. I thought about doing this over the weekend, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna do it on Wednesday since I already had made the thing for Woman Chat Wednesday. Woman Chat Wednesday used to be a thing where I would have like deep discussions on certain subjects or whatever every Wednesday. So I want to try and start aiming for that to at least outside of like the other types of content that I make sporadically. I'd still want to try to push myself to have at least this weekly um live where we could talk about whatever and then not put so much pressure on myself to, I don't want to say filter out because I'm still going to filter um things, but I just didn't want to put so much pressure on myself to be like, oh, I can't talk about this, I don't want to talk about that. Hey, how you doing, Sama? To be able to talk more about current events and things that are trending and stuff like this. This is not something that I'm pushing myself to watch though, and I'm not necessarily setting the precedent that I want to have to push myself to watch things, but I just know that, like, and again, I always tell y'all, interact with me. Like, let me know what you would like me to talk about. Let me know if there's anything um that's trending or something. Or not, it doesn't have to be trending, that you're just like, hey, I want to know what you have to what you think about this. So yeah, what else is going on as of this week? Well, I'm up in the Northeast, so we had that major snowstorm. We haven't had school um this week yet. Tomorrow will be the first day of school for the kids. So there's that going on. I probably need to try to run out, which is another reason why I'm making myself do this tonight instead of pushing it. Because I thought about towards the end of the day when I had to make dinner and everything, I thought about pushing it back to tomorrow, but I want to keep, like I said, on the theme of Woman Chat Wednesday. So I was like, let me go ahead and do it. It's not too late. What else is going on? Is there anything funny? I'm trying to think if there's anything funny that I have encountered. I mean, I've seen a lot of funny things, on social media this week, but nothing that I'm just like, hey, I wanna bring to you guys. It was nothing I was like, let me put this to the side and show them. Um, yeah. I would now I wash my hair and everything because I really needed to wash my hair. I've mostly been keeping my hair like silk pressed for the cold weather or whatever. But I wanted really bad to just do my little wash and go. It's not really fully a wash and go. Like I gotta put products and stuff in it, but I wanted to do it. And now there's another reason I pushed myself to do it tonight because this is my fresh wash and go. But I know when I sleep on it, it's going to get smushed. I might be able to poof it back out, but it's not going to give, you know, shaped correctly like it will tonight. So I was just like, let me go ahead and do this so I can have it documented, my wash and go for this go round. My daughter is going to have a, what's that called? Would that be considered a recital? She plays the guitar and she's going to be playing the guitar. They're having a little show on Saturday before the snow because it's supposed to snow Saturday night. It's supposed to snow again, a big storm Saturday night into Sunday. So we'll see. But we're going to go there. I'm really excited about that. I also have to think about my hair and that in those terms too. Like, is this going to be able to make it till Saturday? I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Very boring stuff. Like I don't it's boring. Who else is here? I see hi to Sama. How you doing? I did not schedule this, so I know nobody knows because I wanted to do it. I was supposed to be on at 6, but I fell a little bit behind because I was like, let me go ahead and take a bath. And then I did the everything. So I had to do my hair and I had to, do my pedicure and all that other stuff. So then I kind of fell behind and then I still had to make dinner. So that's why I'm coming late, but I'm still on Wednesday, so it's still Woman Chat Wednesday. I think that's all I have in terms of introductions. Cause like I said, ain't nothing. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on, and I'll talk about that too. I actually have been considering if I want to need to talk more about like what's happening in terms of the government and like what's everything that's going on. And part of what I was thinking of is that I always we have hard conversations and stuff like that, but I always try to think of like everybody's headspace when they're here and like how um things are affecting people's mental health. And so I'm wondering kind of like if I want to talk about these things, like if is this one of those places where I'm like, because I'm not hiding anything. It's not like I'm trying to pretend there's nothing going on in the world. And I do talk about things in terms of like, that's the thing. It's about talking about things in terms of like what can be done. And I think that's my hesitation. I'm still kind of assessing, outside of my knee jerk reactions to things, what are the choices we have from where we are, to empower ourselves and not feel helpless and not feel like we are out of control in certain senses. I'm trying to use, reasonable language. I'm not trying to use flowery language. I'm not trying to use wishful thinking, like I'm trying to be rooted in reality. Um it's a very difficult time right now. There are a lot of things that are going on that are so scary. Um I'm hearing about the powers that be are gearing up to come from Minnesota with the bullshit to, where I am. I've also been seeing things of people saying that things are happening to people in like the outskirts of where I am here in Philly. So it's like it's that feeling of like you try to just maintain day to day and you don't really want to have to grapple with the worst of what is currently happening, but then that reality that it could come, and wanting to be prepared and wanting to have a plan to at least give yourself. That was why I did the summit I did. Project You at that time is about like just give yourself enough of a conception of a plan to not feel so out of control and not lose hope and things like that. So I'm trying to find the way to talk about these things that are happening in the recent past. Um, yeah, that'll be that kind of a experience. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. So tonight we're going to watch. I want to watch the whole thing. I say that knowing that in the past I have bit the bullet to watch things that I'm not naturally inclined to watch, just to be able to speak on it or feel like I can speak on it. But I am intrigued. I saw enough to be intrigued, and I feel like because I got my book right here, I feel like I there's going to be enough material in this podcast for me to be able to like cite some things from my book because I'm seeing um some stuff that looks familiar to me in terms of like how Shaniece is relating to the situation, seeing her in the moment, trying to like reconcile certain things, seeing her in the moment, getting to know certain things about her child's father that she, didn't. So, yeah, I want to just kind of take a look at that stuff. So let me go ahead and just tell me how your week has been. here in the chat because have I been going for more than a week? I don't even remember how long it was since I did a live. I feel like I did a live recently. Child, I don't remember. Don't pay me no mind. I don't remember. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this intro and then we'll get started. Oh my God.
No problem. You in charge of the girls, right? I am in charge of the girls. Are you in charge of the girls? I am in charge of the girls.
Okay, so let me share this. This is the Drop the Low podcast. I'm assuming it looks like, okay, I'm looking at the little thing down here. So it looks like it's both of them. So I think I think it's both of them doing the podcast together. So we're going to watch this and we'll see.
We need from red carpet looks to the petty IG. Hold up.
Hey, it's your girl Evelyn Lozada on another episode of Drop the Low. And I know every episode I say I am ecstatic, but baby,
I usually say you're excited.
yeah, but I'm like over the moon today.
And I'm your co-host, Shaniece Hairston. For the first time since the birth of baby Blaze, we are sitting down together on the same set with Jay Sion, the Game Taylor. I call you Jay. Jay is a Grammy-nominated rapper, storyteller, and cultural force whose music has chronicled life, loss, and growth for nearly 2 decades. Get ready for an honest conversation about starting over as a father after 40, co-parenting, family dynamics, accountability, and how life experience shaped the man, the music, and the public persona people think they know. AKA my baby daddy. Basically.
I was waiting for it. I'm like,
I mean, that's the most important,
yeah,
title. What do you think?
I think it is. I think that this is like surreal, because I like talk to you guys every day, but like this is like to see you guys in this setting. It just like reminds me that you guys are superstars too, because I don't see you on that light,
Right.
So this is like super cool to me. I woke up, I was excited to come here, and I was like half like family member and then half like business, because like you guys are doing great, and it's like one of those podcasts that people are really starting to talk about and get into, and I watch most of them in full length, especially the last one, the one that I saw with Gil. That was super dope, and so I wanted to be a part of it, so I'm here.
So, did we need to drop a few episodes for you to want to come on? Because
I'm not
this has
gonna lie.
been like a 6-month conversation.
You know what it was? I wanted to like, number one, with me, I gotta like get my like hair braided, because I was going through a weird I didn't my hair wasn't long enough for braids when y'all first started, and I was going through a weird afro stage. So I'm like, let me get my life together. Give me like another 2 months, and I didn't want them braids where they right at the edge. As soon as you smile, your forehead bleed. Right. So I'm like, give me a little time and let me grow the hair out a little bit, and then I come on with a wave cap.
That's what I was about to say. Well, where are your braids now?
They,
but the wave cap, I got the suede wave cap. It matched the aesthetics. Like everything's going.
Fun fact: Drop the Low. So when Shaw and I were talking about doing a podcast, I was like, all right, should we do this? Should we not? You are the first person that I reached out to, and you were like, yo, absolutely, you should do it.
Yeah.
So not only did he co-sign this platform, he also gave us the name Drop the Low.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, right off the bat. Why are they talking so much? And I mean, and when I say why are they talking so much, I mean like why it seems like Evelyn and him have a rapport. And I get it, that's her grandchild's father, whatever, whatever. But it just to the point where like you're calling him and asking his opinion on like why are y'all that close that you want his opinion? It's one thing. It's like, oh yeah, in passing we talked about it, whatever. But you're saying like you called him and said, hey, I want to know. And now I know I saw a clip later on. Spoiler alert! I saw a clip later on in the show where she mentions that like she comes to him for business, but still, it's just, all right. I ain't even want to.
Even approved the logo. So, and that's one thing that I've learned about you through this journey of us being a family.
Yeah.
You are so smart and you're so witty that even when you gave me the name, a couple of days later, I was like, hey, do you have any other names? And you were like, nah, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you just knew that that's it. So we're grateful and we thank you that you've been supportive and that you're here today and we're excited. But yeah, he gave the name for the podcast.
And I appreciate y'all taking my input. But the thing about it, it was just like, it came to me and I like, and when things come to me, like, you know, like really hit me, they're like cemented in my brain and I just knew it would work. And it's easy to say. You know what I'm saying? If you ask anyone that has never heard of your podcast, would you come on our podcast? And they say, yeah, what's it called? And you're like, it's called Drop the Low. The first thing they're going to think is, oh, that's dope, right? It's in like, you know, everyday use context. It's not going to get old because we're in a like technology age where, you know, your children or your baby daddy or your, you know, your significant other, like, you know, you like Drop the Low, I'll pull up, you know? So it's like Lozada, it just worked. It just worked.
Right,
and I'm glad that like it's, you know, really, really going well for you.
So you are really creative with your like ideas, and obviously you are in music. So did you ever hear Michael Jackson, that interview, when he's like, whenever he has an idea, he feels like it came from source itself? Do you feel that way when you come up with something?
I feel I wouldn't say I haven't had that thought, but I think that like I'm real energy based. So I mean it comes from somewhere. And if you believe in any higher power, like no matter what religion or where you are on your, you know, journey through life, if you believe in energy, then you know it's coming from a place that is like obviously outsourced or really deep inside you. So yeah, I think it has more like for me per se, I think it has more to do with like just following your heart. You know, like I don't second guess my heart. Like if my heart tells me that this is it, I just roll with that.
Right.
So when you think about your legacy, when you think about it now, knowing all your kids are watching, how do you finish this chapter of your legacy? Not that it's finished, but how do you finish this particular segment and you go on to another one, because you are dropping a new album, so you're still continuing the legacy.
Yeah. You know, it gets real. I'm like notably the guy that said, you're 38 and you're still rapping. I'm 26, so it's the dubs. When I was 26, I guess I never thought I would be 38. So when I was taking, you know, small little shots at like the older rappers at that point in time, I just wasn't being realistic. And then when I turned 38 on my 38th birthday, like the whole joke was, now you're 38. Like, should you still be rapping? But then after seeing like, you know, like the Clips dropping an album, they're both older than me and they're both very skilled rappers. They Grammy nominated right now for, you know, both of you guys know how long I've been working on my album. And I do appreciate R&B in the sense that they can just, and rock, right? They can just, so for me, it's just like, I don't run out of content because I'm living every day in real time. You know, I'm balancing fatherhood, I'm balancing neighborhood. I don't cut no corners with my children. They know exactly who I am. They know who I want them to be, and they know who I am. And they know that there's no way in life, in any shape or form, that I'm going to allow them to walk in my footsteps.
Well, I'm happy that you're here, but I have a big bone to pick with you.
Okay.
How did you make me a grandmother before 50?
You know,
How did that happen, Jay?
I knew.
Okay, I'm going to try to go back a little bit to see what's prompted that answer he gave. But she just threw me for a loop because that was a very serious answer that he gave, you know, to like a very loaded question. Thank you, Amethyst. I'm gonna go ahead. I put it back so we can kind of see how we got there.
I don't know. Like my life is in full motion in the 360. I get hit from all sides and I don't cut any corners with it. I just kind of like take it as it comes. Now for somebody who's on the outside looking in, they'll probably be like, oh, he too old to do this, or he shouldn't be doing that. But like, you don't live my life. And I think that I do well at balancing everything that I need to balance. I'm obviously sitting here, I'm in great health, and my mental state is up to par with, you know, where I am in life. And I don't cut no corners with my children. They know exactly who I am. They know who I want them to be, and they know who I am. And they know that there's no way in life, in any shape or form, that I'm going to allow them to walk in my footsteps.
Well, I'm happy that you're here, but I have a big bone to pick with you.
Okay.
How did you make me a grandmother before 50?
You know,
how did that happen, Jay?
I knew.
It was 49.
Yeah,
it was before 50, technically.
I knew you were in the crunch. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to hit you with that so that by the time you're 60 years old, you have a whole like fifth.
Okay. Again, in a perfect world, everybody in your life that loves you and loves your children gets along. I'm going to just put that on the table. In a perfect world, everybody that loves you and loves your children and has a vested interest in the life and the success of your child or children get along. I am, and again, this is me. This is me coming in already biased from the clips I saw. Given the trauma that it seems like your child has gone through with this man, um, this just feels really weird to me. This just feels really this focus on to even say, "Oh, why would you make me a grandma?" and all of this stuff, and it because you are a mother of a grown child, like a more than grown child. I don't know how old the baby is. I feel like the baby's no older than 5. I want to say between, you know, an infant and 3. This baby is, right? So your daughter was well over grown. I believe she was like 30. Oh no, she said she was 20. I don't remember how old the girl was, but the girl wasn't 21. The girl wasn't 18, 19. The girl wasn't 14, 15. You know, she was well into adulthood. The frontal lobe is lobing at that point. You could be a grandmama at any moment. You know what I mean? And again, I know this is a joke and it's not me trying to take it so far, like, oh, it's that big of a deal. But I'm saying in terms of like, oh, it's clear that this was something you're like, oh, I don't want to be a grandma by this age because of the connotation of what a grandmom is or what a grandmom looks like or how a grandmom behaves. You know, we have what's the face tried to do it not with a grandmom, but Kiki Palmer's baby father tried to do it to her, you know, about motherhood and how this changes you and your image as a woman and how people are supposed to look at you, how you're supposed to show up. I get that, but it's just like, oh, so who is the game? It's that guy. Is this fellow right here is the game? So her daughter isn't much younger than she is. How long is she supposed to? Exactly. Right. Like, sis, like, what do you mean?
Sixth grader. I didn't want to wait, any longer because, who knows, we're getting old.
Well, you made Welly a grandmother at like 38.
She was 38. I did make my mom was a grandmother at 38.
Oh, well, so there it is.
Because I had Shaniece so young, but all I know is that I didn't know how to process the information.
It happened very quickly.
Yeah, like I didn't know how to like process it, right? Like Shaw tells me she's pregnant. Obviously, we have a great private conversation, and I had to sit with it for a little while because I'm like, I'm gonna be a grandmother. Like this is weird, Like I know I'm 50.
Well, and you've never been a grandmother yet, so I know you were like, what does that look like for me?
What does that look like? Like what? Like first of all, what is she having? What is it gonna look like? What is this gonna be? How is my life gonna change? I thought about Leo. He's a young uncle. I thought about so many things. Then when obviously she told.
I want who is this for? And I guess nowadays the best way to go about it, because you could think you have a target audience, but like the algorithm and everything will show you who your target audience is, and it can be off. But I'm just like, who is this for? Who is the target audience she had in mind? And I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, I guess joke's on me. I'm sitting here watching it, right? But I'm like, who, even if it's women like of her age or like women who came up watching Basketball Wives and WAG shows and just show. I don't know. I'm not, because I have ideas about an archetype I'm thinking of, but like, yeah, I'm always curious of like who they're talking to. She said it's like they're flirt. It's definitely something there where it's a bit. I guess what I'm honing into is this very much so a focus on Evelyn in terms of like her experience. We're talking about her feeling a type of way of becoming a grandmother before a certain age. But then we get the backstory that her mom, she made her mom a grandmother 20 years prior to that age for her. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why I'm like, who is this for? Who is she doing this for? Who is she? Is this supposed to be for Evelyn Lozada fans? Is this supposed to be for Shaniece? Like, is she trying to pass off like this? Okay. And I don't come for me, just follow me, just walk with me. You know how Beyonce recognized something in Blue where she was like, hey, you know what? Blue wants to do this. I'm going to give her a chance to, prove herself, and I'll go ahead and like pass off what I can of my situation to her. Is that what this is supposed to be? Like, is she trying to pass something off to Shaniece? Are they just doing something because they just want to do something together? Like, what is the backstory? And I guess I could go back and listen, but I'm not going to do it on here, of how they got started with this, and why this, why now, why them.
Told me that you were the dad. I was like, oh shit.
We in trouble now.
We in trouble now. But I will tell you, I've had people ask me this. They're like, well, how did you feel when you found out that he was the dad? Like, how, like, and my initial feeling was I was shocked, but then I found so much, I found so much peace, and I know how you love your kids, and I know how you parent your kids. And I said to myself, you know what? He's a great dad. He's a great dad. And so I found a lot of comfort in that. And now that we've been doing the family thing for some time, I'm like, I couldn't even see my life without Blaze.
Yeah.
So grateful that you're in our lives, because I feel like, you and I, like, well, whenever I need advice, I'm doing something, the podcast, whatever, like, it's been good. Like it flows,
Okay, you know what? Bucket. She is the type of woman that women will tell you don't have around your man. She is that type of woman. And mind you, I am not somebody who believes in this whole thing of like, oh, a man can be taken and women need to be doing all this extra stuff to keep men faithful and keep men, from letting their little head drive them. But at the same time, more than one thing can be true. And this is the type of woman that you can't have around, because why? Again, I get that's your grandson's father and everything, but just the way that this relate, I've heard them, I know more about their relationship than I know about her daughter's relationship with him. And not that I want to know anything, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just very off-putting to me so far, the dynamic. And we're how long in? We're about not a full quarter of the way in, about a fifth of the way in, and we have yet to see like any kind of real banter between these two people that have a child together.
We've had a few bumps in the road.
Yeah, for sure.
Sean's looking like,
I mean, but
I'm talking about us.
yeah, and in all transparency, like that's how it should be,
I'm sorry, I came right back because just now when she was talking and then he did the pull out shot, and the daughter's just kind of looking back and forth, and it really did give like your mom is sitting with her friend having a conversation and you're just kind of there, like looking for an opportunity to inject something.
Anything that just goes through like smoothly straight with no bumps, like you can't grow from that. You can't learn anything from that. And if everything's smooth, somebody's hiding something. They're not being they're 100% of their authentic self. One of my first questions to her was, did you tell your mom? Right? I was like, did you tell your mom? And she was like, well, I'm gonna just wait a little bit, And so I guess she waited a little bit and then she told you. Yeah. Then I was like, did you tell your dad? And she was like, no, I'm gonna wait a little bit. But the thing about when she told me, I was shocked a little bit, like literally I was shocked. And we got into this, thing, like I love being a dad, right? Like I absolutely love being a dad, but I was shocked as shit. And I don't think it was the reaction that Sha wanted. So she cried a little bit. And it was uncomfortable for her and for me. I didn't want to make her cry. I just was like, I didn't know what to say because I hadn't had a kid in 14 years. So I was like super shocked. She had never had a kid. So of course she was super shocked. But when she found out, she kind of got to live with it a little bit, like.
So that speaks to disappointment right off the bat. You know how they talk about hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, y'all. What was I saying? I said it seemed like she was disappointed. So that right there is something to note, I think. And also, like, We need more information, but I'm putting a pin in that.
Like I didn't know as soon as she knew, so she lived with it a little bit, processed it, and then once it got to me, she had already like kind of lived with it a little bit. So I was super shocked. She cried a little bit. I was really um just thrown out to the wayside about that because I didn't want to make her feel like I wasn't excited or I wasn't going to love the situation because I absolutely love my children. But we got around that, and obviously he's here and he's beautiful and throwing shit across the house, and yeah, he's just a great kid. And then for her being Blaze's mom, like oh my god, like a gift to a child because she's so calm and her reserve is like immaculate.
Yeah.
And like I like one day he knocked over coffee, like hot ass coffee, and me, I'd be like pow pow, and she was just like. It's okay. I swear to God, it was like Cinderella came to that motherfucker with the Swiffer, and she was like, "It's okay, baby," and just swept it up. And I was like, I would have just get a little pop, little no, little something. But man, she parents with so much grace, and I'm just like ecstatic that you're Blaze's mom because I know that because I'd be wild as fuck. So I know that like as long as he got you guys, as his little army, like he's gonna be straight.
This just creeped me the heck out. That was, and it's more so because of we're discussing like this is her first child, this is his second child, this is not his first child, and so you've had opportunities to, we'll say, improve, grow, evolve as a parent, and you're saying it basically like, oh yeah, my kid lucked up that you're their mother because yeah, ooh, me, like. Also, I'm noticing, um, this is crazy. That idea of, and you see it a lot of times, this idea of like, oh, well, I chose well, so good on me. When what he's saying, he didn't even really choose, he just was messing with her and, not making sure on his end that this couldn't happen. And so now this is the kid, and it's basically like, oh, good thing for that kid that you're, such an exemplary parent. And it's just like, geez, this is, yeah. And now, mind you, and I say that where people be like, okay, level up single mom, like, what's your story or whatever. And yeah, this is very similar in terms of like it being so fast for these two, not knowing each other to be able to say, gauge. I mean, I will say that when it came to my oldest daughter's father, he did have a baby already. And the details that he was giving me about the situation made me feel like, oh, well, this is a solid family person. However, we were both 18. You know what I mean? So an 18-year-old making assessments about a vetting, should look a lot different than someone in their I believe she was in her 30s or just turning 30 or very close to 30 when she had it. And again, this is not to try to make it like, oh, she should have known better, fuck her. I'm just saying, like, I am a little thrown off by what appears to be happening.
But I feel like you manifested Blaze.
Yeah.
Like you were mentioning another child before I got pregnant.
Yeah, true.
Like you manifested Blaze.
Yeah.
On our first date, you were talking about a Blaze, not him exactly.
Yeah.
But you were talking about a Blaze. So you agree with that?
I do agree with that. I think that and
we talked about kids.
Yeah, true. But Joe, you
Okay, so what she did right there, that's something else that I've noticed in the clips that I've seen. And that was like probably one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about it and why I felt like it was relevant to like the stuff that's in my book and stuff, because what she did in my book, I call it like mythologizing the what's this? No, this is not what I want. I call it mythologizing the relationship, mythologizing, the connection that you and that person have. I also refer to that connection as the bond. And so within this bond, you as an individual have to create a lore around what you two people even came together for. You have to create this story that's beyond you, that's just like, oh, we really didn't have any choices. It just was fate. It just was, destiny. And or even if it wasn't fate and or destiny, there is this significant connection that drew us together. It wasn't just, oh shit, I fucked up and got pregnant by somebody that I was fucking at that time. It can't be simple. It can't be just kind of haphazard. It can't be, because that's embarrassing. At the end of it, because the thought of that is embarrassing. To say to yourself, you know what, I got so geeked over some potential, or I got so geeked over my perception of this person that I let all of my guards down and allowed this person to impregnate me. And now I got a kid and I'm dealing with all this weird shit that was kind of preventable. Not kind of preventable, that was preventable. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not as compelling of a story as, oh, you know what, you manifest, you just, oh, it was just a connection. You just knew I was going to be a good mother, and you just knew that you were going to have a wonderful son with me. And, like, it's a lot. It feels better to create this lore around what happened.
You guys know, because you guys are, beautiful women. You guys are still like women, right? But men, right? Men see a baddie, we think like, I'm gonna get her pregnant. That's what men think when they see a baddie.
You gamed me.
You gamed me.
Okay, I'm right back. Coming back, because didn't he just a few minutes ago say that he was surprised that she was pregnant? He was surprised by her being pregnant. So how is it that you look at her and say, oh, I'm gonna get her pregnant, but then you're also surprised? And I don't not believe that these things happen. I don't not believe that he both saw her and said, oh, I'm gonna get her pregnant, but then also was caught off guard by her being pregnant. I believe that that's his experience. I do.
Hey, I'm just saying, when a man really sees a woman that that he likes and it's a baddie, that'd be our first thought. Like, we be thinking like, damn, like I would have a baby by that. So yeah, I'm manifested. I'm manifested.
Gamed.
Yeah, game manifested.
Mm-hmm. So what lessons do you have, like, from raising your older children that are showing up in how you raise Blaze?
So the thing that I've been finding a little bit different is that I'm slower. Like, I'm older. I'm like, when I had Harlem, I was 23. Justice, I was 27, and in Cali, I was 30. So I was a little bit young and faster, and it's like, I'm obviously 46, right? I'm still in pretty good shape. And when my son gets to crawling around, like, he's down there, so I got to get down there with him. And sometimes these knees don't be kneeing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I think it's a little bit more of a physical challenge. I mean, I'm not on a walker holding a cane, but I'm not running around as fast as I used to. So that's a challenge to be able to. And you guys know, like, I'm out every day doing cardio, and most of it is really just to keep up with this grown boy.
Yeah.
So
do you feel like you'll so, like, with me with Blaze, like, Blaze gets all the gentle grandparent. Like, I'm so gentle with him on a level that, like, he could do no wrong. I also think that Leo also gets, because I'm a little bit older, I do a little bit more gentle parenting. Do you feel like you're going to be like that with Blaze? Because how you say, okay, because we grew up during that time where your mom's going to slap the shit out of you.
Yeah. So me, I established authority very young. I think the Blaze is 15 months. And at this point, there is no disciplinary action. He's a baby. He's trying to figure it out. He picks up things, eats off the floor. Shaw's like, it's gonna make his immune system stronger. And I'm like, boy, get this lint out your mouth. But she's just like, let him eat it. And yeah, I mean, I believe it. But again, man, she's a great mom. But me, I think that my authority kicks in around kindergarten, and then from kindergarten to the age of 10 is where I kind of set in stone who's really in charge, right? So that when he is like in the 5th and 6th grade and he's going to the middle school, that like the fear of upsetting your father is really what a boy needs, right? Yeah. It's like Leo with Carl, like he can sometimes you gotta be a mom, and you're a good mom too, and you a Sag, and you're not no punk, so Leo ain't gonna wild out. But sometimes you try your mom, but if you put Carl on the FaceTime, one look, and if he say I'm getting on a plane, Leo gonna be like, huh, so it's like from 5 to 10 is where I really establish authority with my sons. My daughter, she's been running over me for 15 years straight, and I allow it. I love her, but also she just last night she wanted to go hang with her friends. I established the same boundaries when she was young. She loves and respects me. I love and respect her. I also respect her young womanhood, and I'm giving her like a rope and letting her, pull far and pull far. And last night she was hanging out with her friends. I gave her the time to be in the house. She cut it 30 minutes before that and was in way earlier than I told her to be. And I was like, that's dope. She respects me. She loves me. I reiterated on, on the fact that I don't want anyone like, you can, because she getting to the age where her friend group is like some boys, some girls. And I'm like, I don't want anyone putting their hands on you inappropriately. You know how I feel. And she's like, Dad, how many times you gonna say that? I said 1,000,000. And she was like, I respect it. Understood. I got you. I love you. I'll see you soon. And so very early. And so that when you get to, when you're like 10 or 11, 12, and you get, to your teenage years, you can have a little bit more freedom. And I'm not really on your ass like a parent would be, like our parents were. My mama was trying to whip my ass all the way till I was grown because I never really, listened. And we got beat with all kind of shit and like sent to the room, and we had little like, I'll kill my parents, like to yourself, but you would never say it to your mom. And then she comes up there, you want some dinner? And then y'all squash it and stuff like that. But these days, these kids get a little buck and they don't really have no filter. So you got to like really get on their ass early.
So I have a sidebar question. So because you guys have a little age difference, right? How do you feel about Shaw choosing? Because Shaw is younger and she's very into health and wellness. I know you are too. You could say that your knees are buckling, but you're. By the way, guys, it's 9 a.m. Like Jay wanted to do this interview super early in the morning. I said, boy, he is making us work for this fucking interview, But that's something that people wouldn't know about you. Like you're an early bird, you go jog, like you're out there, you work out. So how do you feel about Shaw choosing not to vaccinate Blaze? Because I know I grew up in the era where I'm going to give him whatever the doctor says, but I appreciate it's true, right? But why are you laughing? I appreciate her
Probably
doing.
doesn't even know.
He's probably like, but she does her research, and I know that there's a connection. Well, they say I'm not the expert that there's a connection between vaccinating your kids and autism. Like there's just so much out there. But how do you feel about that?
So me, I'm not really. I came up. We got vaccinated as kids. I'm pretty sure you did. It was just like what you had to do.
Right.
And like now, I don't really trust all the vaccinations. So I'm not really versed in vaccinations. I just don't too much trust vaccinations, right? Like I didn't get a COVID vaccination. I didn't have COVID probably about 20 times at this point, but I fight it with my immune system and with my well-being and how I take care of myself, right? Some people need to get vaccinated because they may have immune systems that are not as strong. As far as like her maternal decisions, like I don't challenge her. I just don't challenge her. I know that she definitely does research.
He doesn't care. I was just I'm trying to but I don't think he cares when it comes to something like that. I think the idea of him saying like, I don't trust these vaccinations, there's a lot of people who are just on some stuff like they don't trust these vaccinations, and the things that people are saying, the reasons why you shouldn't trust these vaccinations, we already know what type of person, just goes that route. But what I'm saying is I don't think he cares enough either way to have actually formed an opinion, and he's about to go back into, she's such a good mom. So it's all on her, and he's fine with it being all on her, is what I'm getting out of it. That's my perception of what I just watched.
Definitely knows what she's talking about.
She's an investigator.
She's for sure an investigator. And, again, man, she is off to a great start. I know it's only been, a year and some months, but she was also pregnant for 9.5, whatever that was. But I think even with you having Leo and her being as much older as she is, the age gap between her and Leo, she had to like low key parent Leo sometimes. So, I mean, she already had the knack for, her maternal vibes and instincts and all that, but I don't challenge her. But it goes the same with Aliska when we were young. I didn't challenge her maternal decisions. I didn't challenge her.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. So since you had COVID, like how many times do you feel like that built up your immune system?
I really do.
It's the same as when kids eat dirt.
Eat dirt, yeah. Yeah. So
Exactly.
She's saying give your kids 1 scoop of dirt a week, and they can fight off any.
What? Wait, what? Girl. What? Oh. Wow. Ain't he like a 50-year-old man? I'm digesting that. What? I don't even have nothing to say to that. I'm just God damn. Ooh. Okay. The baby's very cute. I'll say that. I saw a picture of the little baby, and the baby is a beautiful little baby boy. So we have that.
I mean, at this age, he's at a funny stage where like we'll find him eating dog food, or he'll lick the floor.
Yeah.
Or yesterday he took his bottle. This is his thing lately, bro. He took his bottle and he goes like this. He spills it. He did like this on the floor, and then he licked it.
Yeah.
And like I watched him do this because I was curious to see.
Not only did he have COVID, he said he had it 20 times. He said he just don't care. And I'm sure he wasn't quarantining when he had the COVID.
What he's gonna do, and
Right.
I'm like, wow. Well, I mean, he is funny. He is funny.
He his own he his own little man. And I say that like, I had Callie she was an easy child to raise. Harlem didn't even really speak to people till he was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
He's so mild mannered and chill. Blaze reminds me a lot of.
First of all, he just said he would speak. And she said you don't connect that to being anti-vax. If you mean me specifically, it's not that I don't connect it to being anti-vax. I think that him being anti-vax is just because him being anti-vax means he doesn't have to think about none of this stuff. I don't think it's based on any kind of principle. You get what I'm saying? I think it's the most convenient thing to be because he's not taking kids to the doctors. He doesn't feel like doing any of that stuff, and so therefore that stuff is not important, is what you get what I'm saying? Yeah, he said he had it like 20 times. She said no. Oh. He said 20 times, girl. That's what this guy take care of babies and fools, huh?
Of King Justice in a lot of ways as far as a baby, because they're just active. They know what they're doing, but they want you to think that they're trying to figure it out, but he knows what he's doing. He's just like, but then it's a learning curve too. Like he's trying to figure it out. He needs to be told don't do that or no, and then he needs to be told by his mom, it's okay, eat the dirt off the floor. It's gonna make you strong as Samson one day. But again, that is the beauty of having like two good parents.
Yeah. Did you think it was crazy when you posted Blaze on Christmas and people were saying, oh, that's an AI baby?
Yeah, it was crazy. So the thing is like whenever I post him, people don't know if it's real or if it's him or if it's like a app or something. I'm just like,
if she happens to see this, then I want her to know. That's why he said in his mind he wanted to get you pregnant when he met you. He was going purely off of what you looked like, and so therefore what the baby would look like. And that is why when it became a real thing that he would actually have to grapple with outside of just the idea of, getting a bad bitch pregnant, he was confused because that was all about, appearances and just, ego and pride of, oh, look what I can get pregnant. And I'm saying what? Because he said that. That's how he referred. So you get like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like, look, man, my kid is beautiful. It ain't me. I wish I was as beautiful as he is, but
Right.
we really just got like, I mean, I don't know if I want to call it luck because I feel like I'm a good looking person. She's stunning. You're one of the best looking grandmas on earth.
Thanks, Jay.
No, I mean, you got to give it to yourself.
He was talking about him and his baby mom, and then he had to make sure that she knew, and he had to emphasize that she knew that she was bad. This is weird.
You're 50 years old. And when you say 50 years old, that is like half a century. And so you should really like, I know you got to look, I know you look in the mirror and say, you know what, Ev, like you really are doing great. And I mean, if we opened your DMs right now, you would have YNs to, old niggas in there. Like, hey, so it's like you really got to give yourself and your genetics and your mother, like, her props because you guys are really good looking people.
Thank you. Yeah, I've gotten into arguments with not arguments, but people are like, where did he get those colored eyes from? Like, as if it can't happen. It was like such a weird thing. And I've even responded to like maybe one person, because I don't argue in the comments no more. Like, you know what, you've been really good with that too. I feel like you used to troll sometimes, like years ago you would bang on people. You don't do that no more.
Because you got to understand, number one, you got to understand where it's coming from. It's coming from someone who doesn't really like themselves. And so they like you, right? They like you so much that they're obsessed with you enough to try to tear you down, which is really them tearing their own selves down from the inside. Because it was like I was telling Shah before, people, we're in the light, right? Like all of us, just, we're in the light. So you have millions of followers, you have millions of followers. I have millions of followers. A person that's hiding behind their phone, that has their own insecurities and fucked up life, can easily tell you that you don't look good and then throw your phone on the charger and you can see it or not see it, right? It's so easy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I really was trying to just let him cook. But even you going back to somebody going to tell you you don't look good. That's not what she said. She said that people were arguing with her about the baby's eye color. That has nothing to do with whether she looks good or not. What is this conversation? That's my fault. I elected to watch this. And we're gonna watch it.
To throw a rock and hide a stone when you're not in the light. Right. But for those who are in the light, we understand that, like, I understand where it's coming from. So it's like the people that hate you are literally your biggest fans, because the people that love you, they don't have time to really zero in on every single thing you're doing. They're busy loving themselves. So it's literally only people who don't love themselves who are trying to get you, down there with them. And I've just like never been the guy to like dive down. I'll get down there and like step on you, like pull my underwear down and take a shit on you if I really feel like trolling. But for the most part, man, like thank you for following. Because if you look at most of your hated comments, it's going to say follow back.
Yeah.
Which means that they follow you, they wait, they see it, and they can't wait to tell you that they're having a shitty day again. And God bless them.
Are you surprised that they weaponized the fact that you two had a baby against me on the show? Like, I had a feeling it would happen, but like, how did you feel about that? Because
they called you a felon.
Yeah. I mean, true.
Are you a felon?
I am. So I don't feel slighted by someone trying to like throw like my past at me. Yeah, I'm a felon. My mama know I'm a felon. My kids know I'm a felon. My fans know I'm a felon, and that's just what it is. I don't try to duck who I am as a person.
He said he ain't trying to duck who he is as a person, but she didn't know that you was a felon. He said, like, well, everybody just know. Now, do I feel like she could have known he's a felon because all that stuff, is out about him and stuff? But again, he's not her peer. That'd be like me expecting my kid to know all the things that I know from social media around that time, even though she may have been alive, but she wasn't in the same headspace as me. She wasn't in the same circles as me. She wasn't having the same conversations as me, whatever. This is just a mess. This is, why did they do this? I mean, I guess no. If they feel like he's such a businessman and he's so prestigious or whatever to be around, they'd be associated to, I guess they're thinking, oh yes, this is a good look for our podcast. But this conversation is just,
person. You know what I'm saying? Am I in jail? Absolutely not. Made some mistakes in the past? Yes, I have. I was young, a little misguided. My father died a long time ago. Even when he was alive, I didn't really lean on him for advice the way I should have, the way my children can to me. So yeah, I made some mistakes. I'm not like one of those who's going to hide or, mask my face because I have a fear of somebody being judgmental about who I was at one point in time in my life. What I do know for a fact is anybody that's speaking my name, right, will not say that if they see me, because one of two things. Number one, I am a felon. And number two, I'm gonna get off in your ass in person. Like, I'm gonna get off.
Why you ain't tell your baby mom though? Like, you could have, I feel like, I mean, I guess if she didn't care enough to, that's one of those things. I don't know. He's like, oh yeah, I'm proud of it. This is that, the other. How did y'all get to a point where you got a 15-month-old with her and she's really genuinely like, wait a minute, you're a felon?
Off in your ass. So you're not gonna even come at me like that. So do it for the show, do it on the internet. It's all cute, it's all cool. I can't really snatch my TV off the wall and break it across my knee because I'm mad at you. But when I see you in person, and one day I will, have that same energy. It's all that I ask. I'm not doing the back and forth on the internet. And 10 out of 10 times when people see me in person, they don't have the same energy. So cool, have at it.
Yeah.
How many felonies do you have?
Oh,
Blaze is gonna ask one day.
Yeah.
So.
I think like on record, 2 on record.
That's not bad.
It is bad because we live in a 3-strike state. So it is pretty bad. One of them was a wobbler, so I ended up getting that expunged.
That's not bad. But again, the coping, the reframing. That's not bad. Two felonies. That's not bad. Girl, what?
And like what a wobbler is like you get to like after a certain amount of time you can go back in if you don't commit any more felonies you can get it to a misdemeanor. So that's where I am with one, and then I'll over time I'll get the other one down, and yeah.
But this was what, like when you were in your 20s? Like what?
30s. Ever since my 40th birthday, I've been like one with.
I'm so sorry. Wait. They keep trying to make it better. That's the funny part about it. Like they keep trying to be like, oh no, it's fine. Like, no, I was in my 30s. What is going on?
With God, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't like, I'm not saying like I'm Pastor Mace or TD Jakes or Kirk Franklin, but I'm doing pretty well with like my faith and where I'm at in life. And I haven't been to jail in a very little long time.
Right.
What changed that 40?
Callie she hit an age where I start to think about walking her down the aisle one day and her being able to go through, the period stage and like go through those battle these emotions that it takes two parents to like really get a child through those times, especially when it's your daughter. Like my sons, and I'm just being being honest. When Justice and Harlem were little, I didn't give a fuck. I was their dad. I wasn't apologetic about who I was. Yeah, I loved them, but like if I had to get something done in the streets, I was gonna do it. They have good mothers. I knew they was gonna be all right. My mother is like love her grandchildren, and so I'll be like,
everything is on the women. They have good mothers. You're such a good mother. That is what I wanted, and this is what I say when I talk about listening to men and really just listening to men. In this conversation, you are seeing in action what it looks like outside of just talking about it, that idea of choosing right or choosing wrong, and why it's a racket. And it's always a lose-lose for women, because at the end of the day, the expectation is, as a woman, if you're a proper woman, you're going to naturally do these things. And so therefore, there's this kind of built-in fail-safe of an assumption that whatever woman they get pregnant, she'll just take care of the child. She'll be all the parent that they need. And I need to be able to come in and be, like he keeps saying, authority. I need to come in and basically instill fear of some kind. That's all I need to do. I don't need to be there really to nurture. I don't need to be there to make sure that they're vaccinated. I don't need to be there except to do the things that a patriarch would do. So now I'm worrying about, I'm going to have to walk my daughter down the aisle. Fuck my sons. They going to have to figure it out. But they got good mamas, so the mamas will take care of them. Meanwhile, the boys get mad if the father's not around. And that's on the mother for not choosing right. It's a freaking racket. And what's also funny to me, and I'm glad that they did this, and I'm glad we're seeing this, is because a lot of times people would just attribute it to, lack of money, being poor, being ugly, not having choices, not having options, blah, 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 blah. They don't fit the bill. Their preferences, they have had access to way more money than the average person, black or otherwise, woman, black or otherwise, for decades now. I think Shaniece was brought up in comfort, if not affluence. They had access. Evelyn has had access to her own platform, for decades now. So every single advantage that a woman could have in society right now, they had it. And this is still a thing.
Like I'll go to jail for a little bit and I wouldn't care. But that's the difference between being young and misguided versus getting older and allowing wisdom to consume you. So now I'm not going to make the same mistakes, that I made when I was younger, because I really absolutely adore watching my children grow.
Do you wish to see all your children married with families?
Woo, when
Boys and girls.
yeah,
All of
I would love to, but the reality is, and this is the challenge when you have kids older, when you're older. Your mom can say, can concur. I think my number one thought, right, about my baby son is that when Blaze is 30, I'll be 75. And I think about Harlem's 22. He'll be 30 in 8 years, and I'll only be like 53 or something like that. But when Blaze is 30, I will be 75. My dad died at 65. My mom's 65 now. My mom has some heart issues. My dad died of a heart attack. Those are my parents. Genetically, I need to be on my wellness and on my shit and being happy and doing things that are going to keep me alive so I can probably live till my son is 50 years old. Because when he is 50, I'm going to be dead. Let's just
I'm
call
gonna
it
still be here.
I'm not,
kicking it.
I'm just going to let everybody know that you're not going to see a 95-year-old game out here.
Right.
So I have to be,
You never know.
oh, I know. Because right at about 80, my whiskey and my Hennessy intake is going to go through the roof. I just want to, vibe out as an old man, and I don't want to, have no regrets. But so that's why now, like, I'm just all the way, I'm diving in that pool of parenthood because I'm still young and active, for the most part. I feel great. I feel like I could live to 90 and still be driving around and like, doing my thing. But the reality of it is my mom has had, has a history of a few little, heartaches, and my dad died from a heart attack. So I have to be realistic with my lineage and my, just, who my parents were. And my grandparents didn't live to be, they all kind of made it to their 70s and 80s, but no one made it to 90. And this is who I come from. So I got to be real intentional about loving who I love and really spending time adoring the people I created.
But still, whether you're here or not to see Blaze when he's 50, do you still want to see all your children married with families?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I got like, a bucket list of things, like family oriented things that I'd like to see. Like, when you watch Christmas movies and all the kids come through the door with their husband and then the kids fall in, like, I want to be that type of grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
And I want to like do the family dinner and like come down the stairs and like, oh, what's up, Dad? Grandpa. Like I really want that for myself. Yeah. I want it so much that like I could damn near shed a tear about thinking about the future, Yeah. So yeah.
I think for me, especially with the holidays, because obviously Christmas is coming, even though I don't have a full family unit, right? I'm not married. But for me, it's still special,
Right.
Like that's why I have 2 Christmas trees. Like I want to bring in the Christmas vibe, and it's even though I'm not married or I don't have that unit, I feel like I have everything I need, and Blaze for me is just like, he's really like cranked it up again for me as far as the holidays because he was a little older,
Yeah.
but I love that because I love the idea of, and I've always desired, I've talked about that here, I've always desired and wanted to have a family unit and be married and all those things. It just didn't work out. So now I'm to a point where I'm like,
Right.
I have everything I need, so.
Yeah. I have a reverse, feeling about what works out and what didn't work out. I think that, your marriages, I feel like they did work out because if you,
It was only one.
oh yeah, your marriage.
Yeah.
I just assume,
It was short.
NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, YMCA,
That was a good one.
we're just gonna throw that at you. But yeah, so
The giggling and the sniggling. Was it that fun? Like, was it? Okay.
your marriage, I feel like you were married and I feel like your ex-husband is one of your best friends in life. How, from where I'm seated. So I feel like it did work out. I feel
Well,
like
no, because my ex-husband wasn't Carl.
Oh, was it? No, who was it?
No, it was Chad.
Oh,
I
shit.
married Chad.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking
I didn't
that
know that. I thought you were married to Carl.
No,
You guys
we
just
were engaged. We were about to get married. We were planning a wedding, and then
Yeah.
we broke up while we were planning this wedding.
Right.
But no, it was Chad.
So anyway, with the relationship with Chad, with the relationship with Carl, I'm pretty sure you love who you are today.
For
So,
sure.
so you can't say that things didn't work out. They worked out the way that they were to make you who you were today.
Right.
If you weren't happy in your marriage and you weren't happy, or someone wasn't happy in your engagement, but you made it out just fine, and you have Leo and you and Carl, seeing you and Carl together, it looked like my dog. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it did work out. And Carl looks like he's doing great. You look like you're doing great. You guys meet at the middle and parent this amazing boy. And so I feel like it did work out. I know people that have been married for 15 years that are fucking miserable,
Right.
that are miserable. And I look at that and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing good, right? Like I'm great.
Oh shoot, I got confused at first. I'm thinking Carl was Shanice's father. I forgot she had another little baby after she got out of that marriage with Ocho. Child. And how old was she at that time? I know was she in her 40s?
I'm not married yet, but I feel good and I'm happy to be exactly who I am. And I also know people who are, married and thriving. So I think that your happiness and what works out or what you feel didn't work out is like subjective to how you feel when you wake up in the morning. I feel if you wake up in the morning and you are 100% happy with your being and who you are and the people that you allow into your life, intentionally love you and pour into you like you pour into them, that everything else will fall into place,
Yeah. I think obviously, we have a great co-parenting relationship, which leads me to you guys. Like, what is something that both of you have learned about each other through your co-parenting journey together? You go first.
So to be honest, she had a way that she thought things should be, or she has a way that she thinks things should be. And I'm not fighting her on that. I think that her thoughts and her outlook on, parenthood and relationship and how a woman should bring a child into the world and what that woman needs and respect and loyalty and everything, in that pot of gumbo of like how you should treat and respect the woman that you're having a child with. I think that all her views are right. I think that I'm used to doing things my way. I'm also an alpha male. I'm also a Sagittarius. I'm also a very hard person to deal with sometimes because I get bullheaded. And when I put my foot down, it's kind of like it's my way or the highway, which is something I'm still working on. And it's probably got real difficult for her in the beginning stages because she felt like.
Now, I may just be, this is just my opinion, but he gives very much so Arrested Development. He has a baby face. He does for his age. He has a very babyish face. And in the times that I've seen him, like, throughout in his heyday when he was popping and everything like that, he gave very much so childish. And even in the way that he's talking about things, like I'll tell him, not him, I'll tell people, like, I feel like when it comes to certain things, some people, sometimes it could be groups of people or whatever, have a childish view of, yes, this is what did it for me, have a childish view of whatever the concept is that they're discussing. So for instance, when we talk about wealth and things like generational wealth and things like that, and then the Black community starts having these conversations, there'll be certain things that you can tell is just their interpretation of what they think they're seeing and perceiving about people who have generational wealth in their opinion. You know what I mean? Like from their vantage point, it's not coming from a place of actually knowing. It's just coming from a place of like what you can see from where you are. And so that's what he gives me when he's sitting and he's talking about manhood and he's talking about family and he's talking about all these things. Because like I said, for me, it doesn't seem like he's actually maybe now he's connecting more to actually having to do something in order to get those outcomes. However, the what he thinks he needs to do and just how deep it needs to go for him and this and that and the other still seems very detached and like not like a mature understanding of what you would need to put in to receive that, if that makes sense.
Why are you so
Bullheaded.
yeah, and I'm so like calm and patient and trying to figure it out. And I don't think in the early stages that I gave her enough grace to really live it how she saw fit.
Yeah. Go ahead, Shaw.
What was the question? To learn about men?
Yeah, like what have you learned? Because co-parenting sometimes, I mean, obviously, especially, it's not easy. Co-parenting with someone's not easy, no matter what the situation is.
We had a few months of like fire with fire,
Yeah.
Well, thank you for saying that you didn't give me enough grace because I do agree with you. And I think a lot of my anger came from you not delivering what the expectations were.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that there. But I think that I had to learn how to, when I'm done with someone, I'm done with them. And because you share a child, you can't necessarily be done with them.
Yeah.
So I think I had to learn how to wrap my mind around the fact that like, this is for life. Because otherwise I would have been like, would we be sitting here?
Okay, so this is where me and her agree. I'm that same type of person too. It's like if you're not fucking with me, I'm not fucking with you, and it ain't even gotta be on no, like negative. It's just we ain't gotta talk, right? I will say though that because her child is her child, and so her whatever her standards are in terms of co-parenting, he seems to be meeting them. She says she thinks he's a good father. Evelyn has said she thinks he's a good father. So I'm not going to sit here and say what's true for them is just not the truth, right? Because I don't have a dog in that fight. However, I'm here to say personally, what I've said here, what I say here, what I say anywhere is that you don't need to be pushing yourself, forcing yourself, letting anybody else force you. And you should be forcing your child to try to maintain connection with someone who is not inclined to want to do it. off of the basis of the thing she's talking about of like, oh, well, we have a child together, so we can't. Do not ever let that keep you hostage in a situation where it's not a good thing. Like I said, she hasn't spoken on anything outside of being annoying to me that sounds dangerous, that sound, like she's happy with the level of responsibility and the breakdown of that responsibility betwixt her and her child's father. So I don't have nothing to do with that. But if you're in a situation where you feel like being connected to that person is more trouble than it's worth, if they're not pulling their weight, if they're being abusive or antagonistic or whatever like that, do not ever feel like there are ways to navigate co-parenting that don't involve y'all having a relationship. And like I said, he's sitting up there skinning and grinning with her mother as if, he's a potential suitor or wanted to be. So what I'm saying is you don't have to put up with weird shit just because you had a baby with somebody. This is what she's electing to do, and she seems fine in her choice. But y'all just know that you don't have to do that if it's weird to you.
Here today if we didn't have Blaze. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can see that.
Because otherwise it would have been like, all right.
Yeah, because when you start talking to somebody, you're like, okay, whatever. But when you do share,
I mean, I feel like I would have still been on Drop the Low. So I
But,
would
but for maybe for different reasons,
Oh, yeah,
right?
right.
Because I also do feel like we were meant to cross paths in whatever capacity we were meant to cross
Mhm.
paths in, and we were having this conversation.
Okay, she said it again. I had went earlier and found the part that I was talking about mythologizing. I said, in short, I romanticized the dynamic between us into a timeless love affair for the ages that would inevitably end up with us old and gray, looking back on the foolishness of our youth and the futility of our attempts at denying our true destiny of raising a family and building a legacy together. The reality, however, was much less mythic. I bought into the concept of the bond. I'm sure you're familiar with the bond. It's a driving force behind so many single mothers' crazy behavior when it comes to their babies' fathers. They will stalk, threaten, assault, damage property, and traumatize their own children in the name of their rights as his child's mother. Now, I don't know anything about how they interact. They seem like they get along. So I want to be clear. I am not saying that she needs this book. I am not saying that she is specifically the person I'm talking about in this book. However, the things that she is exhibiting are things that can be found in an extreme case like this, where the person believes so deeply in this bond that they believe they're supposed to be together and will be together with this person, after all of whatever they're going through. In her case, she does not seem like, I don't know what her dating history is or anything like that, but nothing she has said or done in this situation makes me think that she is holding out hope that they'll be together. It sounds like she's pretty resigned to understanding that they're probably not going to be together, and or that she wouldn't necessarily want to be with him in a committed relationship. However, that idea of, oh well, things happen for a reason and blah 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 blah, that goes to that idea of a bond of like, oh well, we were meant to come together. I can't just accept that I took a gamble with you and certain things worked out, certain things didn't work, whatever. I need to feel like it was beyond me and it was supposed to happen, as opposed to, any kind of lapses in judgment. And again, this is not about her needing to feel like she failed at anything, but it's more so about, like I said, for people who are in a space where you're putting more into what it is that you're believing is going on than what you're getting back in real time from what's actually happening. Those are the types of things that you need to do to kind of reframe how you're looking at the situation, to not feel compelled, or I don't want to say comfortable because it can be uncomfortable, but there is a certain comfort of being like, oh, I'm yearning for this thing, as opposed to actually having to go out into the world and create a new vision for yourself. I hope that makes sense. He said, I get the vibe she taking back. That's the thing. That's the thing, though, with the idea of the bond. It does leave room it does leave that room for just in case something happened, because then everything that happened, good or bad, is a part of that tale for the ages of how you guys fought and won over every obstacle that was thrown in. You get what I'm saying? That you beat, it was y'all against the world when everything is said and done. It says she definitely needs that. I haven't seen nothing to suggest that she does seem sad and she does seem nervous, but I also wonder if she's a talker at all. Like maybe she's just not someone who talks, who maybe she's not as much of an extrovert as her mother is. So there's also that. And this is really private stuff, and like we're talking about disappointment here. She's saying she's disappointment, she's finding out in real time certain details about who this person is that she had a child with. Like there's a lot happening. It said, what kind of bond can you have with this man? Listen, people have bonds with people that have way less going on than he had or has going on. People form, like I said, I think it's more so about a retroactive thing of protecting yourself psychologically from what you've done to yourself. And can I cue it up? Because we might need to go back and look at when I was talking about, what's that girl name? In fact, I'm about to pull it up right now. When I did on Nick Cannon's baby moms, the one with the short hair, and she sat with Shan Booty, and she was basically having the same kind of situation that Shaniece is having in terms of finding certain things out or thinking about certain things and revealing like why certain things happen, revealing the fact that Nick Cannon talked her into having a baby. Like she got pregnant, she had an oopsie, got pregnant, lost that baby, and then Nick Cannon was the one in her ear like, oh no, this is really special, this is really important, don't get rid of our baby, basically building that bond lore of, oh no, this was meant to happen, this was really important, don't minimize it. You get what I'm saying? And so it's those kind of things, because that was 1 and 2. Did we start it there or did I come back? No, I think it was this one. I'm gonna just pull this up real quick. No, what happened? Sorry, y'all. I just had it and then it just went away. Hold on, I gotta pull it back up. Here it goes. Okay.
The other day by like, well, in my opinion, the universe and God doesn't make mistakes. So
Right.
Blaze was supposed to be here. You were supposed to be Blaze's dad. We were chosen to be his parents. So I think that I just had to learn how to grasp with the fact of like, okay, this is a situation in which you have to stick around me.
Right.
That's not my thing. That's not my dating life. There's like one ex that I ended up being friends with like a year or two after we broke up. But so I think that's what I had to.
Yeah, I think I will say I'm proud that we're able to do this,
Yeah.
Because there were a few bumps in the road. And I know for you being a new mom,
Yeah.
She said we were able to do that. Maybe she means the podcast. I'm like, why does she keep framing it like including herself in things? But she might mean the podcast and the discussion itself. So I'll back off of that.
having to figure out how to co-parent with this person. He's a bullhead. He's a Sagittarius. You're like, you're a Gemini, but you got a little, I don't know what
Like
you're
Cancer
rising.
or something
Yeah, I don't know
in
what you're.
Cancer's like Harlem. I feel like, and I use Harlem, which is my oldest son, as like the foundation for like the model human, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like you are like calm and chill and non-confrontational and like deserve ultimate respect because of how cool your soul is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like the same way about my son, but my other children they're a little bit different. This kid is just like God's gift to a family. And I feel like you have a lot of those characteristics, Cancer characteristics, even though you are a Gemini. Every other Gemini that I met is like a Sagittarius op, if you will.
I
like
think that's what she was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because even though you are a Gemini, which is what, an air sign,
Yeah.
you still have a little
Like an airhead.
got an airhead.
Hey, because sometimes she be having her blind moments.
Well, you know what? I always laugh at God sometimes because I'm like, it's really interesting the kids that He gives you, right? And the fact that I gave birth to like a yogi is always funny to me because we're the opposite. I'm very much like you because we are Sagittarius and we are bullheaded. So Shaniece is blessed because you got two Sagittarius around you.
But I had to be the opposite.
You're right. You're right. You're right. And we look at you like you're crazy sometimes.
Yeah, and me, for me, about her, right? Like, I think you're kind of the same way. Like, we talk every day, every other day, about like life in general. But I think that, like, my baby mama is like a special person. She's a real special person. I think she's a better person than.
Okay, I take it back. He said now it's a terror look, and I don't know. So I'm sitting there like, when he says they talk like every day or whatever like that. And again, this is a younger child, so okay. But that's something else that I talk about in my book when it comes to the bond, because the bond is one of those ways. And who was it? Was it you, Kenny? Was it you that said you think that she still probably would get back with him if he tried to? I do. It's one of those things. So the bond leaves room and creates opportunities, like I said, along with the lore, that idea of, oh, we're supposed to be together or whatever. So that, yes, if something were to happen later on down the line, oh, well, it's fate anyway. So there's no reason for me to be trying to actively put safeguards up against it, both within my heart, within my mind, within my plan for myself moving forward. So to me, when he says, oh, we talk like almost every day, that does speak to her still kind of holding a space for him, because how are you talking? And again, her baby's only 15 months, but I'm just saying, like, I hope I would want to see moving forward, if partnership is something that she wanted, I would like to see like a little bit more space being made and held for somebody else. Because I don't know. People do it. Some people do have situations where they're married and they're still good friends or whatever with their, like, not everybody has to be enemies in my mind. But I don't know. Yes, it was written in the stars. You know what I mean? And like, this is the thing. And I've talked a few different times about Beyonce, when it comes to Beyonce, and like how she builds that lore around her relationship with Jay-Z, and how that is what women do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that's what we're socialized to do, kind of in thinking about romantic relationships and wanting to opt into romantic relationships. Part of the reason why we're so about that is because we create these fantastical stories about this love. Now, are there other women who are a lot more practical about how they move and why they move that way and this and that and the other? Yes, but I do feel like that lore building is a tool that we have in our tool belt that we utilize a lot, but also comes back and bites us in the ass. And it's meant to kick in, like I said, in these moments when the reality is just not so great. That's what keeps us opting in. That's what keeps us coming back. That's what keeps us invested in these people that are just kind of like, anyway, the wind blows, whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And if it's feeling a little bit too real and responsible, I got to get out of here.
She has a way more reserved and like study, calm, almost like a perfect human being head ass nigga. Like, I feel like that about you. I don't feel like that about myself. I feel like I'm like got some fucked up shit going and I'm still trying to like balance out my lowrider. But for you, I tell your mom this behind your back. I tell people to ask, like, you are an outstanding human being.
Thank you.
It's a little weird to someone who doesn't know how to appreciate it at times, because I never met anyone like you in my life. And I tell everyone that. But the thing that I say the most is that, like, how great of a person you are. And so when I think about who my son will be in the future, like, I know he ain't gonna be no punk. I know he's gonna be athletic. I know he's gonna be tall, but I know that his heart and who he is in his soul is gonna be great because of you.
Yeah.
And I believe that, and I know that wholeheartedly, and I won't let anyone, like, no one in the world, like, tell me otherwise.
Yeah, you brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
But that says a lot about you and your motherhood, and it says a lot about your mother, because I met your mother, and she is
she's a Sag.
Oh yeah.
She's
so again, she raised you, and then you raised her.
Okay, so, and I know people will argue because they're like, oh, well, the baby is not, in a single mother household because his father's in his life, like all of the things or whatever. But I'm just like, there's a lot of what he's saying when he's talking specifically about her and how she shows up and what a great person she is. And this is not me trying to say she's not. I'm sure she's everything he said she is and more. But it draws the question of, okay, so if she is not, oh, thank you, Paper Frost. If she is not wife material, I mean, if everything he's saying about her and she can't be made a wife, what is everybody else? What are the mere mortals going to do? And the same thing with like I was about to call her Jazzy Faye. My God, what's her name? Jazzy Brown and Cam Newton. It's just like, now again, is this a indictment on every single relationship and every single situation? Do I feel like her situation is exactly like my situation? Absolutely not. But that's the thing. Even with all its market differences about the specifics of what was going on between them at the time she got pregnant and who they were to each other at that particular time and all these different things, what she looks like, what I look like, what everything is going on, she's still a baby mom. You know what I mean? And I don't view that as a negative, but I'm saying in terms of that being a qualifier for people, that being something that people look to mean something. What does it mean when it can happen to such a wonderful person? What does it mean when it can happen to people who are outside of dire circumstances financially? What does it mean when it can happen to preferences? How does it go from being something that just kind of happens to being some kind of condemnation against a woman specifically? Now, that don't mean that all the stuff I said before about I'm confused about, that she's confused about, I'm just saying, like, is it Uchiwali or one mic?
And figure that out. And a lot of people, like, you don't get enough credit. Like having a baby at what, 17? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
If Callie has a baby at 17, nobody lives. The baby, the daughter, like, like I can't. So the fact that you did that and then you're sitting on the couch and you guys are twin beauties, you know, like that is amazing. And a lot of people out there, hella, we are the judgmental motherfuckers. Like they gonna see this and find a way to pick this apart and tell us we ain't shit, you know. And you over there, greens, beans, potatoes, YMCA, NBA, NFL, like, you know, I look at people saying shit about you, and we talk about it. I tell you, like, we gotta laugh this shit off, right? You know, because the person that's saying it or the people that are, you know, spraying it, they look in the mirror, they do not love themselves.
Right.
I fucking love myself. I know this. She loves herself, and you absolutely adore yourself. So I mean, people got to vibrate at their highest frequency. Right. And you can't really give a fuck about people like trying to tear you down. And I say that to, you know, other celebrities. Like sometimes I see like Cardi B feeling a way about somebody saying some shit. Fuck.
I keep going back to it. Okay, like, who is this for then? Like, what is the message? And I guess maybe they'll give their little amalgamations at the end. But what is the message that you're bringing here? Because if you feel like people are just hating on you and this and that and the other, blah, 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 what is this for? Who is this for? What are we doing? I just always find it weird when people speak to haters or speak of haters so much. You know what I mean? Like, I'm coming to learn that I can't necessarily say that haters aren't a thing. Haters are a real thing, and it's the currents in the pursuit of certain things for anyone. But this emphasis people have on it and the obsession with like this belief of like, oh, people just exist to hate me. Okay.
Fuck, if you Cardi B, fuck you. Right. Like, fuck you. I'm Cardi B, nigga. Like, what are we talking about? Right. So it's like, but you know, I know women are working with different type of emotions and shit like that. But for me, being a man and an alpha male and a Sagittarius male, like, I don't give a fuck who says what. You know, like, say whatever you want on the internet. But like, if you see me and you say it, then obviously we're gonna have issues. Right. Obviously, a baby might be coming to see me in jail or some shit. And you know, you'll have people out there to say, oh, you're going to jail at 50 about my family. I am. Absolutely. You know, I thought, you know, most people say, well, you know, you got a daughter, you better get your shotgun ready. Like, I take that shit literal. Like, if you violate my daughter, I'm going to spend the rest of I've already lived a great life. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm going to do 25 to life for the disrespect of California Dream. Period. She knows it. Her mama know it. Everyone that knows me knows it, that I'm going to die about these children. And especially the girl. She shall be protected and respected.
He's continuing to live up to these tropes. That whole, oh, I'm ready to die about it. Live. The one thing you have demonstrated categorically in this whole thing is that you're not willing to live for these people. You're not willing to live for these people. You're not willing to put in the work to really be integral in these other things that you're not really interested in for these people. Yeah, you're willing to die. Yeah, you're willing to go to jail because that's not the minutia of day to day. And I know as someone who's immersed in the minutia of day to day, in raising children and has been for the last 22 years. And it can be mind numbing and it can be, it's not what you necessarily want to be doing, but it's what needs to be done for the child. And you have off loaded that onto the women. And so, yeah, I guess in that way, that's a lore he's building around how one. Again, I keep saying again, it's not that I don't think her, Shaniece, and the other mothers are as wonderful as he says, but it's the fact that like that's a part of the cope too of like, oh well, they're such great parents that I don't have to show up. I don't have to be there. I just need to be ready to die or go to jail when I could just be here raising my kids. But this is the alpha male. This is the alpha male. He's letting us know. And this is what it is.
Respected at all times. That is my princess, and she deserves to live a full life and be as happy as possible. And I'm going to afford her that. Y'all got some white teeth. Y'all got like the whitest teeth.
Really? I feel like I need to get my white end.
Yeah, I feel like I got my grilling because my shit like Virgil, like off-white.
You got a white end.
Yeah. Y'all got white-ass teeth.
What do you feel, Blaze?
Okay, sorry. I can see. He said, I'm officially immortal. I can see how he's doing that thing. They say, the masculine and the feminine need to be separate and this and that and the other. So it's just basically like everything I'm not, you guys are, and you're just the perfect women. And I'm the perfect man. And just every other thing is like, and you, what was that? You saw that little cartoon where they had the little cartoon man on there and they were supposed to just be talking about be your friends and stuff. He's like, yeah, because women eat salad and men eat steak. And he was just going on and on and on. That's what it's giving.
Deserves most in this life?
Sheesh, that's a good question. I just feel like he deserves ultimate love.
I had the same answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ultimate love.
Yeah.
He deserves ultimate love, especially in the world that we brought him in, which was a topic of, early, like in the early stages when she was like first told me she was pregnant. We talked about the world we were bringing him in and what it was going to look like and what it was going to take to raise him. And I think that we got it though. I think we got it. But ultimate love, and he's been getting that. You obviously because he loved me, but he don't really fuck with me like that yet. But because he went shop every single day, all day, and I drop in, pop in to make sure like at this point he know exactly who his dad is. But he loved me the most when it's time when he needs me to get him out the crib. I am the crib lifter upper, and for those 30 seconds, like he loves me to death. But like that is at this point right now, that's her child. But I know how parenthood works, and I know that it'll come to a stage where it's daddy, and so I'm just super amped about waiting for that. But like the joy that I see and the interactions between them two, it would literally make you cry. And then grandmama, but like over here, like side mama, like he absolutely adores you too. But again, man, you guys
He's
are
funny.
great family members.
Even if I'm traveling, I FaceTime him. I call all the time. Like the other day I called him and then he was in the bed or whatever. And he was like so excited. So like, it's nice. Like I've been waiting for this time. I've been waiting for my time to shine, right? Because I'm like, he now knows who the fuck I am, you know? So I call him, he'd be like, and he rolled around in the bed and he did his talking, how we were talking earlier. And it's just so cute. I didn't know what this, I'm sorry, I'm talking to my grandson, but I didn't know what this would look like for me. I really.
Okay, this is cute. That's cute. Because that's exactly how I would be if and when I ever, become a grandmother. That's exactly how I would be. Just like, oh my gosh. So I like that. It's just so he ain't dying. So why he ain't dying for his son? Listen, he said his sons, he was ready to go to jail over GP when his sons was there, and then he had his daughter, and he was like, "Oh, let me straighten up because I got a girl and a child." He's already listen. I was trying to just let that slide because I know people think like I just exist to hate on fathers of children. I don't, but like the bar is in hell. Like the bar is really in hell. And it's not hard to see why we see so much of the same stuff because it's so normalized. Like nobody's checking him. Evelyn's just geek that he thinks she's still an attractive woman at her age. Like
He didn't. Like, I'm just like, I know I'm going to be a grandmother, but like, God, he has brought so much joy into my life. Like, he's everything to me. Like, I love him so much. Like, I think about him. I look at his pictures, his videos. Mind you, I do that with my kids, but being like this new title, I don't know how some grandparents, I've talked about this on here, I didn't have a good grandma.
Right.
Like she was the worst. So with him, I'm just like, I want when my time calls for him to be like, my grandmother was so good to me.
Oh, you got that.
And he's just the best. He's really, really the best. I know I joke with you and be like, I don't know, about your wild morning or night, but like it makes sense in our, family circle now. And I'm so grateful. And I know people, like you said, try to tear stuff apart and how did she have a baby by him or whatever, and I'm like, I wish you guys can see, and I'm happy that you're doing this with us because it's a glimpse into what our real lives look like, and the fact that it may not make sense to y'all, but
well, that answered the question I had about what they're thinking in terms of what they're bringing to the zeitgeist. So fair enough.
we love each other and we're really here to support each other with whatever that we have going on. And even you guys, like raising Blaze, like Blaze's birthday, your family here, it was such a vibe and it was so much positivity that everybody that left his birthday party was like, yo, that was so fun. So like, I'm proud of us, I am, and I'm grateful for my village.
And I think I can speak for like everybody who has a relationship with their grandmother that like, and my mom is going to watch this and talking about how much I love my grandmother, and she wouldn't feel slighted about that because she knows how much her mother loved me. And when my grandmother passed away, like I damn near went into a little short span of like, I don't want to be here no more. I never lived a day on earth without her talking to me. And I had one of them Texas grandmothers who talk in third person, like, and she calls like herself grandmother. So she'd be like, grandmother is going to be here, and grandmother don't like that. I had one of those grandmothers that talk like that. And still to this day, she even wrecked, her passing even wrecked Thanksgiving for like 4 or 5 years. We couldn't figure it out until, this past one. And I was grateful to see my entire family. I was here and then I went there and I was able to see like all of the people I love again under one roof, joyfully and like really, like happy to be around each other because we had some hard times after she passed. So it's like to be able to have a grandmother, the fact that you had her when you were 17 and that you were 50 and you're a young grandmother and you keep up with yourself and you are able to chase Blaze around, that shit is dope.
Yeah.
That shit is dope. And so he's going to get his grandma, he'll have his grandma to when he's like, 30, 40 years old.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are pretty close. I always say we are close. And I always,
you'll
have me. I always say like, having Shaw so young and being a young grandmom, life makes sense to me now. Having her young and, being on welfare, bumping around the Bronx and just like not knowing life looks like shit, I wouldn't think it would look like this now. And now being a young grandmom, I'm like grateful that I had her when I did because, we move and shake around, so. So let's address.
Okay, so I want to take this moment to clear the air on a few things. Right? We're going to go down the rumor mill.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. Did I ever sit on your lap when I was older? I did. But when I was like 12, when I was a child, calling you uncle.
No.
Okay.
Well, the thing about that is like my own nieces don't sit on number one, I'm not fucking Santa Claus. Number two, I'm not inappropriate with children ever. Like even my own nieces, as much as I love them, I squeeze them, I hug them. And
okay. This is just for anyone who's coming into this and doesn't know the background of this. Apparently, he used to be married to or just had kids with, was in a relationship with, a long-term relationship with someone that was a friend or associate. Evelyn is trying to distance herself from that. She's saying, "Oh, we weren't really friends like that." She's pulling a little fizz, but they ran in the same circles. They were known to be associated with each other in a friendly way, his ex and Evelyn. And so now, once Evelyn's daughter was seen to be with him and then having his baby, it was a big thing going on. So I guess people were trying to say that he was always had his eye on Evelyn's child, even when she was a child, type of thing. I don't know. I'm not invested in that. It is weird, that you were just so, but I guess you ain't got nothing to, what can you say? Your grandchild is your grandchild. She had nothing to do with the making of the baby. So I don't know. But yeah, that's the background of that.
And if they're let's say when they were 2 and 3 years old, obviously you pick little kids up. They love to be picked up through in the air. You hug them. But as they get older, you have to respect your unclehood, right? And you have to respect them growing up as young men and young women, right? And so I'm not even on those vibes with my actual nieces and nephews or any of my homies' kids. They're little. They call you Uncle Game. You throw them up. You love them. Anybody that knows me knows that about me. And so when people make up these rumors, again, I think it's like absurd. I laugh the shit off and I just be like, people are absolutely fucking insane. But
Oh, but there's also, documented footage of him in a park touching, what's that girl name? She was DDG's ex, and she was in a Bad and Bougie video. I don't remember her name. Something Rose, I feel like. Not Amber Rose. What's that y'all name? Anyway, one of them little Instagram model girls when she was about 17 or something, and he was messing with her, and they were in the park, and he had his hands down her pants type of thing. So that's just out there. But yeah, I don't know, Kenny, to your question, she knew him when she was 12. She's saying no. So I don't know. Or maybe she's saying that there was no inappropriate contact between them two. She wasn't like near him. He didn't have a chance to groom her type of situation.
let's go to the next.
Yeah, because people are like, I was calling you uncle.
I don't even remember you from no type of time.
Because we didn't meet, right? But okay, so next one. Were the mother of your other children and my mom best friends? And was I calling her auntie?
I think about that when I see that, right? I think about it all the time. And I see the multiple pictures of like you with Tiffany, but people have to understand what Hollywood is and what celebrities are, right? Like when you're a celebrity, right? Like you're a celebrity. And
okay, so this goes back to, because I did see some pictures, but I wasn't like, and I didn't grab them or anything. Like I said, Evelyn and this lady at the very least ran in the same circles. But people are saying that Evelyn and this lady were actually like friends or friendly. So it sounds like Evelyn had her child around this woman who was with him at the time. And so that's why people are like, ew. You know how, ew.
Tiff is a celebrity, right? Like, especially in this town, right? Because she had a show, you're on TV, she's on TV. And celebrities come to celebrity people shit, especially women. Like, women go to tastemaker shit, they pull up at baby showers, have a drink, tell you congratulations, nice to meet you, girl. And if I see you again, it's obviously gonna happen again. But I don't think there's ever been a point where you guys were like best friends. Not saying that you wouldn't be, but it's just you have your own best friends. And I know Tiff like the back of my hand. She has a small group of best friends, and Evelyn's not in it.
Right.
You're just not in it.
Right. And I think, I know Shay touched on this when you were on there, but most people look at a baby shower as a very personal, intimate moment. But you're right, because we are in like Hollywood.
Right.
You invite people, your PR person invites people or whatever. Remember when me and Chad pulled up on y'all when you were filming your show? Like, I didn't know you guys, but you guys
I know you, and I barely knew Chad, but the network thought it was dope. You know what I'm saying? And so we did that. And people would see that and be like, oh, he used to run track with Chad back in the day. I know that. It's like people say what they want. But that's what happens when you're dealing with real classy people that are grown, and we don't do the messes.
And I know that. So I started even feeling like, dang, she's getting dragged into this. Cause, so, I mean, I try not to really talk about it too much because it's like, I understand and respect that she's private and doing her thing. But, when I did the shade room, I responded because I'm like, let me just clear the air.
Okay, next one. Did you ever have sex with my mom? And did we ever have a threesome with my mom?
That is absurd. Like that shit.
No. It was he ran a train on us, so we were both there together.
That would I damn near did a Prince and walked off.
I'm sorry, I have to ask the question.
The thing about it, and by the way, let me know. I'll let you know. Evelyn is a 50-year-old grandma. She's absolutely beautiful. Just so you know, right? But
here we go. We get it. You find her attractive. We get it. Oh my God. My personal opinion, I don't think that happened. And I don't even know, I wouldn't even say, again, this is me not knowing nothing. I ain't seen none of the shows. I kind of glanced at the pictures, the photos they're referencing, that type of thing. I don't feel like he was scheming on her. Back then, I feel like once she got old enough to be where he be at, he saw her, he found her attractive. I do feel like knowing that Evelyn was her mom kind of did something for him. I'm not going to lie. Because the way he just will not stop, I definitely feel like if he could figure out how to do it without looking weirder than he already looks, they would mess around. And I say they, not just him. They would mess around because she is just geeked at the fact that he just thinks she's so fine. So So why are we bringing this up? The rumors might be true. I think she's bringing it up again to protect her lore around their relationship, that it's just on the up and up and it's just love, and he just recognized her as a good woman and this and that and the other, and this idea of, him having been a predator to her flies in the face of that. So I feel like that's why she's invested in, clearing up these rumors or whatever like that. And like I said, I reiterate, I personally don't feel like, again, take it with a grain of salt because I know very little about this stuff, but based off of what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, I don't think that's the case. There's enough wrong with this from what I'm seeing that I don't feel like that has to be added into it, is what I'm saying.
Never, what is it? Never have I ever? Is
Right,
that the
yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like never. And we don't even give each other those type, but that type
Right.
of energy, those type of vibes. Number one, it's fucking disgusting. Number two, we are like a hard, like a dope ass gangster little family outside
Right.
of like Star Child here. But yeah, like that's not our vibe, man.
Right.
It's just not our vibe.
Usually when you hear crazy things, right? So like you sitting on his lap at the age of 12, which you were going to St. Dominic's in the Bronx. Like I don't even know if I traveled to LA at that point.
Yeah.
The point is that we don't know where that rumor started, right?
Yeah.
But this one, I know where that rumor started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just thought but I thought it was so funny that nobody addressed anything, nobody said anything, because I feel like when someone is going in on you and they don't even know who the fuck you are, never met you, like somebody not responding to you, to me, is like the ultimate response.
Yeah, it's like literally like putting hands on you when you respond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like
Okay, I don't know who they're referring to, but they're clearly referring to somebody specific, and so this is you responding to them. This is you responding to them. Because this is a very specific qualifier you're giving here, and you're saying specifically who put that particular rumor out there, so you are addressing that particular rumor that you are saying that particular person put out there.
some of this shit is so off the wall, like you literally have to like just sip your tea and keep on going on with your day, because
Right.
to address it would like it doesn't need to be addressed. It's so disturbing that someone would even drum that up and actually like literally like try to throw that into a public forum or a public space, that it's just like,
Disgusting.
it is.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Next one. Am I a gold digger?
No, I can't say that about you. Number one, you know what I get a lot? I get like, she tried to trap you. And I'll be like,
It was
hey,
the other
man.
way
And you know what?
around.
I'll be like, yo, I ain't
I'm gonna be honest. She says she's not a gold digger, and I won't say that she is. But what were you digging? Because it wasn't love and partnership. You ain't know nothing about that man. It seems like y'all are so markedly different, in personality or whatever. I can tell he's just like I said, I feel like the differences that they have in terms of what he's referring to as parenting styles is the type of thing that a more antagonistic man would be beefing with her over. But I will say, I'll give him that he seems astute enough to understand it. Like, look, she's doing all of the raising, so I'm not even going to bother her right now. At least not right now. I'm gonna let her do her thing. So he at least has that much going for him, that he's not, because some people will sit there and just want to fight you tooth and nail just for the authority. You know what I mean? So he's got that. But it just doesn't seem like they knew each other. They did not want the same things. Yeah, so like what were you there for? What were you there for? Like what was it that what were you there for?
I'm not LeBron. I'm not. If you trap me,
LeBron.
like yo, if you trap me, you're gonna be in the trap, like because I'm gonna like literally give you exactly what you need to take care of the child, and if you're nice to me, like then I go the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? But like no, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to them, is like not a gold digger at all. And I know the difference between a gold digger and one that's not. But like everyone that knows me knows that I'm not. You don't gold dig me, because you just can't get that off.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm one of these like ugly niggas out here who, if I wasn't
What he's calling gold digging, number one, if she got child support, you would have to pay it. Like if it was any amount over what you felt like you needed to pay, you would have to pay it. That's number one. Number two is this idea of like He's about it. I can hear where he's going with it. It's not about being ugly. It's not about this. It's not about that. If you position yourself with someone who is about their money, they going to go after their money. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you know, like, now, are some people more like the sub dom dynamics of it all? Yes, some people are a lot more like, hey, it is what it is, fuck you, pay me type of thing. Other people are more, demure about it, whatever. But my point is, if you're dealing with somebody who's about their money, especially if a kid is involved, if they put you on child support and you get child support, you will have to pay the child support. Like, it is what it is.
Celebrity or wasn't a superstar rapper, I couldn't get a cute chick. Like, I've been able to pull a cute chick my entire life. So it's not like those ain't the vibes. Like, I'm not insecure. You're not going to use me for money. And that's not even your character anyway. And I mean, if you wanted to be, you could. If you wanted to be, you could. But so could every beautiful woman. And we do live in Los Angeles, and
so he just said, so what was this for? If you wanted to be, you could. If you wanted to be, you could. What was that for? I feel like everything is just to try to explain to people that he believes this is going on. He's explaining to people that he believes are just haters and whatever like that. You're giving a lot of explanation that, to me, again, is meant to soothe you more than anything. Like, people, that's one thing. The people that really are out to get you in that sense, they don't care. They're not looking, they're not going to go, oh, I got this extra context. Sure. You know what I mean? If they are who you're saying they are, they don't care. So who is this again? Who is this for?
you're from New York, but raised in Florida, and you lived in Texas and here, like, you could literally, if you wanted to go dig, you could really take niggas for all they worth, but that's just not your character.
I thought it was funny how many stray bullets I was catching because of this. I said, I don't have a dog in that fight. Like, I'm here by default. People were going in on me like, oh, she groomed her daughter to get him. I'm like, I was not.
She didn't know. She didn't know.
I didn't know. And it's like, again, my daughter's a grown woman.
Right.
She is in her early 30s. Who she talks to, not talk. I don't know. We do not ever discuss. Do we ever talk about, even pre-J, after J? We don't ever talk about, oh, who you're talking to. I don't like, those are not, like, this is my daughter.
Until you know, and then when you knew, you was like, I mean, if it's going to be anybody, let it be the nigga to take care of his kids.
So it's kind of like, it was so many crazy things. So that was another reason why I was like excited that you were coming here today, because I knew, I was going to put this whole situation, all that craziness, to bed.
Okay. Did I miss any of them?
I like this part of y'all should do this with like everybody.
Thank you so much for watching the episode. Such a great interview. We will be having a part 2, so make sure to tune in.
It was so good. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
In terms of love or whatever, have a problem.
So was he your boyfriend? Did you guys ever come to terms with those labels?
Okay, so the last thing Sean said, people who are happening to life as opposed to people let life happen to them. I can say that I get where she's coming from. I can also say that I am someone who has been letting life happen to them to a certain degree. Y'all can't hear what I'm playing. Let me know if y'all were able to hear it at all. I'm not playing it right this second, but I'm saying like once I started playing it, could y'all hear it or what? Okay, well I closed it, but I'm gonna share it again. Then okay. No, I want me to be little. There we go. Okay. Definitely been withholding from doing a lot of things for various reasons, feeling like I can't because I'm a mother, because it's not responsible, because different things. So, in that sense, it is a good thing to just kind of like be willing to live life and make mistakes and do, just make sure that you can say that you actually lived. I'm sorry, my face is itchy. That you actually lived your life as opposed to just kind of existing. I'm with that. But again, why purposefully? Because there's a difference for me. There's a difference between, you're dealing with someone and you're just not thinking. Right? Like you're not thinking and but when you're dealing with someone who is purposefully impregnating people, you like I wonder if she's going to talk about this, because my question is, did she know before she got pregnant? She said, oh, we're just casual. No, I'm trying to make it make sense in my head, but it's not making sense. Somebody please come talk to me, because it's not making sense. Because what I was trying to say was I could see if like she's like, okay, we're dealing with each other. And like I said, it just kind of happened, whatever. Mind you, he had the baby with the lady Brittany Bell already. He already had at least one. I'm going to try and find when she starts talking. But the question was for her, what was the relationship, I think, between her and Nick Cannon. And I'm trying to get to the part where she's like telling us how she viewed what was going on between them and the stuff he was doing and saying at the time. Visual. No, I'm trying to make it make sense in my head, but it's not making sense. Somebody please, literally living her own life. So Mariah is wealthier than him. He has no financial leverage over her, especially when he's using the alimony to pay his baby moms. Yes, and that's the thing, and that is why it's all here, folks. Like all this stuff. So Mariah is wealthier than me. You can't, you know what I mean? I'm going to dampen your chances of being.
Or no labels are ever set. I mean, even now, no labels are ever set. I think it's safe to say we can. I like to say we're family, but I want to say it wasn't until after my sons were born that he became my primary partner. But life partner, I feel like, God, that scares me a little bit. Like the forever part of it scares me a little bit, and I like to live in my moment right now and in my present and what's going.
Prince Petty says Mariah is wealthier than him. He has no financial leverage over her, especially when he's using the alimony. Okay, I also want to point out, because I don't want to try to rehash this whole episode. The episode is there. You can go and see. I'm going to show you. It's called It's the Climb, Why a Woman Would Choose to Be Nick Cannon's Concubine. Prior to this clip that we're watching on that screen, there was another podcast she did maybe like a year or so before getting involved with Nick Cannon, where she was talking about coming out of a relationship that was supposed to be monogamous but wasn't because her partner was cheating. So this is somebody who wants monogamy, has expressed wanting monogamy and this and that and the other. But listen to how she's talking now about, oh yes, I just like to go through them. I just like to, feel connection and it's loosey goosey. Let me see if I could try to get to the end where she was talking about not. Sorry, I'm trying to find where she was basically saying that she was confused about what was going to happen now. I mean, listen, I can't find it right now. If you want to go and watch my full analysis of that situation, if you want to like brush up on it, and I also use stuff from my book, within it, because it's the same thing. And that's a big reason why I wanted to watch this thing with Shaniece. That's a big part of the reason why I wanted to highlight what's in the book, because the reason I wrote the book is because this is not an isolated incident. You know what I mean? Like this type of situation is not isolated. These are the things that happen in situations where people want to go, how did this happen? How did she let this happen? How does she have all these babies by this person who wasn't going to be there? This is how the lore is, how the bond is, how men are able to capitalize off of these situations where seemingly smart, intelligent women that they think have the world in front of them and can do whatever they want to do will get into situations with these guys and find themselves like psychologically trapped, because now they're having to grapple with, oh shoot, I let this guy get his hooks in me. I didn't really know who he was. I didn't really get, all the assurances that I should have before taking these steps with this person. And now I have to grapple with it. And what is my life going to look like? And what is it going to mean for partnership moving forward? And what is that going to mean for, these images that we have in our heads of how we want our lives to go. He's talking about, oh yes, I want to have all my grandkids gathered around me, as the patriarch of the family. He's not married. He hasn't created that kind of a household. You know what I mean? Same thing with Nick Cannon. He's now telling us about how he has to go house to house to house because these women ain't fucking with each other. All types of things. It's like, this is how that stuff happens. And for us, like, I can't speak to the men. But for us, we need to be understanding what's going on. You know what I mean? And understanding the role that we play in it, and understanding what we can do now that we recognize that we have this power to shape our narrative, to shape what's going on with us, to be able to utilize that same energy and that same, skill. Hey, Mame Hamoon. I saw you earlier too. Thank you so much for your comments under my video. I appreciate the engagement. I'm happy to have you here. And you can always play the replay. It'll be up and everything. But yeah, like it's not, I don't want to say it's not as complicated as you think, but there's more you can do. And I feel like for me, like what I'm trying to provide here is not about admonishment. It's not about being like, oh, just be better. It's more so about, look, if you can name it, you can change it. If you can identify it, you can reframe it. You can adjust it. You can, and I'm talking about your behavior. You get what I'm saying? If you can go and look at this thing, if you're just going to say, oh, it's just fate, there's nothing I can do, it's written in the stars, it's, then there's nothing you can do. But if you can go, actually, societally, this is something that's common, this is something that happens, these are the reasons why these types of things happen, these are the types of things that women in these positions are looking to have and looking to get out of these situations, this is the amount of time statistically when those intentions work out, and this is the amount of times when they don't. And so now, having that information, I can make some, I say, decisions instead of concessions. And another thing that I've been saying lately, I've just recently got the language for, is that we as women will be having bonding conversations with people that are bargaining with us. And he wasn't even bargaining. He looked at her. He said, I want to possess her. Basically, I want to possess her in the sense that I would like to put a baby in this woman to be able to mark the fact that I was here. And she created this scenario in her mind where, oh, well, it happened because he manifested it. It happened because it was just destiny and this baby. And, and again, not trying to say the baby shouldn't be here, not trying to say the baby isn't everything that they say he is. I'm just saying that, like, it happened because you had unprotected sex with this man at that time in your life and you got pregnant. And yes, you get to build whatever else you want to build around that, but that is why that happened. You don't have to believe. And if it's causing you pain, if it's stagnating your life, if it is, causing you to feel uncomfortable and uncentered in your own life experience, then that is who this book is for. This book is for women that need to like reorient themselves in the reality of what's going on, and then they decide where they're going to go from there. Right? Right. So, okay. Well, I have reached the end of my rant. We reached the end of that interview. It was everything I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. Like, it wasn't the worst, but it also wasn't something, like I said, that I felt the streets were clamoring for, but good for them. Good for them. Blessings and whatnot. Yeah, so that's going to be it for me. I'm going to go ahead and do this outro here. I just want to let y'all know again. Oh yes, thank you to Paper Frost for becoming a member. That is so awesome of you. I'm happy to have you. So everybody knows we have memberships now. We also have super chat, the ability to super chat here. We're doing big things. What else? Let me know again, because we're Woman Chat Wednesday. It's I'm back with that. That's an OG thing. And so now I'm getting back into that. So if you have anything that you would want me to highlight about Woman Chat Wednesday. Also, okay, so I do this thing too here. I don't know how many of you have seen it. It's called Baby Mama News. In fact, let me go back to my channel. And then let me see. Okay, so this is, I don't even need to be on here. I know why I was muted because I took myself off of the thing. I'm so sorry. I was talking for the longest time and y'all could not hear me. What I was saying was that I have playlists. Um, I was saying I have playlists. So this is baby mama news. If y'all want me to do baby mama news, like y'all can send me little ratchet, not ratchet, but like little stuff that people are going through, baby mama, baby daddy issues. Maybe I could do a little compilation of those during the week. Also, I have discussions about specific types of conversations. Those are set in a playlist. I have interviews of when I've gone to other people's platforms there. I have the birth your bag. So these are different interviews I've done with people here about things that they've done, unconventional things or conventional things to make money. This is Refine Your Shine playlist. These are people that, have a presence that you can see, that you experience visually and whatnot. And so what they do to kind of stand out in their own way visually. Build Your Boundaries playlist. This is conversations I've had in terms of like building up your own self esteem and creating and supporting your own boundaries, stuff like that. So just know I have a bunch of, I still don't have no audio. Y'all still can't hear me? I hope you can hear me now. That was 23:58, so that was 24:31. So I think you should be able to hear me now. I hope so. If not, we just going to have to let it be what it is. But yeah, that's all I was saying. And like I said, we have memberships, the membership tab, all that. What else? Oh, I just put, if you didn't, this is live, but that's not, I feel like I just put, maybe because I'm live right now. But I just recently put up like a, what do you call, a channel trailer. So it's just a little 5-minute thing I posted today. So you can watch that if you want to. Okay, good. You can hear. Hey, Sambry. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead. What time is it? 10:26. I'm probably going to go ahead and try to do some more editing of things. Maybe make a TikTok or two. I don't know. But thank you guys for coming and kicking it with me and watching this with me. I thought it would be useful for some things. And yep, that's pretty much it. I will talk to you all later. Love you all. Good night. That was on me. I did the wrong one. Hold on, leave me alone, okay? Don't bother me. I thought I did it smooth too. Okay, here we go.